So,
What's up, Wes?
hey man, how's it going?
Hey, man.
I think I'll try this. This isn't my normal thing,
Yeah,
but
it's not my normal thing either,
wine.
but that's what we're gonna do.
All
Hopefully,
right.
you'll be drinking it and not actually doing it. Oh, let me hit this GoPro back here. Got all these cool accessories thanks to our buddy. I don't know if he wants to be heard or not. Whoops, come through and just put this stuff up. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Back at it again.
Yeah. It's
You
been too long.
You posted the last one?
I put it on my channel. Yeah.
I can't remember
Sent
if
you a
I
link to it.
liked it or subscribed it or whatever. It's been because it's
Yeah.
been too long. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's been too long.
But since the last time, we are launching things into space.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
those-
Now they return.
Now they're coming back. That was awesome, no?
Yeah. I was driving. I didn't get to watch it, but that's a real human achievement, and I don't think it gets enough like news attention by any means.
Why would you not be able to drive and watch it at the same time?
I got to be honest, man. As nerdy as I am, I completely didn't pick up that was happening, or else I probably would have made time to watch it.
I got lucky. My stepfather texted us, and he was like, it's all over, or he couldn't find it. He's disappointed how it's not on the news or anything like that. And I was like, man, just check YouTube. It's on YouTube. And then somebody chimed in, it was on the Discovery Channel. But it is kind of weird that a big event like that was not covered a lot more.
Not really, because we're under the midst of the plague right now, and that's far more important to people, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course, I got mixed feelings, don't we all?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting, actually. Like life.
Which part?
Well, just the fact that life had been very boring for the last couple of decades, and it's actually something interesting that happened.
Yeah.
You know.
Huh.
You feel that way, or how you feel about it?
I think it's hilarious that for a while, my dad would call me all the time about the doomsday stuff. Yeah, like I'd go to.
How's he doing?
He's doing great, and he's retired for like the third or fourth time, and now he's back to work. But he'd do the whole thing where we'd watch YouTube and whatever the latest doomsday video was, he would get on and he'd call me before whatever it was, whether it be Black Friday, the elections. One time it was like this thing in September, I had no clue, or whatever the hell that was, and he was just like, man, you got a case of bottled water, you got a full tank of gas. And he used to crack me up, and finally I was just like, you know what, Dad, God's not that nice to give me a vacation. So I don't think the end of the world's happening. And then sure enough, man, this pandemic came in and I got a nice 3-4 month paid vacation. And so I guess God does love me. So I'm going to take it. And now I'm back to work full time. So
That's a good takeaway. I mean, how did he feel when a doomsday scenario actually happened?
I don't know. He was probably disappointed it didn't doom as much as it should have.
Well, not to get too political, but I'm going to get political. I remember Bill Maher, who I really love to. Yeah, I really like Bill Maher. I think he's like a broken clock. He's at least right twice a day. And I remember he was really big. He got a lot of flack for saying like, "Oh, we need a recession to get Trump out. Like we need like something major to happen just to get Trump out." And people got onto him. They said like, "Well, in a recession, people like commit suicide. They go broke." All these things. And he was like, well, whatever, y'all are just being, He's actually genuinely affected. And I don't know if he thinks it's a good trade-off. He got what he wished for. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, we need something bad to happen. And then something bad did happen, just like these conspiracy theory and, doomsday prepper kind of things. So when it actually happens, like, what do you do? Because it wasn't exactly what people expected. They expected aliens or... I don't know. What did your dad think was going to happen?
Chaos, riots in the streets, pretty much everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Except it just didn't shut the city down or shut United States down enough to where, I had to use my walkie-talkies.
It's pretty shut down, man. But yeah, we've got the infrastructure, and that's why I kind of stayed pretty bullish throughout it. Was because people acted at the bottom that this was the end of the world. But, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but you know how I knew that the bottom was in, right? Do you remember my indicator?
Yeah.
What was it? You remember?
The spike?
No. It's the oatmeal indicator.
The oatmeal?
On March the 24th, and I put it in all my chats just for posterity, I saw there was oatmeal, the staple of my breakfast, back on the shelves. and that was like the bottom.
Interesting.
I thought so too. I mean, I said it kind of as a joke, but at the end of the day, it is kind of true because it was like the return to normal had begun.
Actually, I do remember that moment where I started, when that panic happened and I went to the grocery stores and I was like, oh man, everybody's clearing everything out. And then about a week or so later, it started flowing back in. They started getting stuff in, shipments, and I was like, okay, we're going to be all right. And with the exception of toilet paper. But that was hilarious.
Oh, that brings up another thing. Like people, I've been really obsessed with trying to find Sprite Zero Ginger. Like I could go out and buy
like a Sprite ginger.
Sprite, yeah, it's Sprite Zero.
Yeah.
So it's a 0 calorie Sprite with ginger. It is the most fantastic mixer.
Huh.
It's incredibly refreshing, the most incredibly refreshing drink. I have 2 of them left, 2 cans left in my fridge, which are going to stay there like people keep fine wine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to keep these as long as I have for a special occasion.
Well, I'll keep an eye out for that, Wes.
Oh, that's gone, man.
And then I'll charge you double.
I will pay it. Dude, I would pay for a case of this stuff $20 right now, if not more, if someone had it and could send it to me, but they can't find
Amazon
it.
say, no?
Amazon, if I've
Kroger.
So I had somebody so I'm too much of a Luddite to actually order off Amazon, but I had someone order it for me. So she got me 6 cases of this stuff, but she forgot to click on no substitutions. So 6 cases of regular Sprite Zero came in. I was very disappointed. And you can't find it. I could go out and buy any car that I wanted right now. They're all on the lot, but I cannot find Sprite Zero Joint. And you know why? This is actually important. There's an aluminum shortage. Which kind of makes me start to look at the materials sector. Because, I mean, there's a lot of shortages that still persist, along with all the inflationary pressures that are happening right now, with all this, money just being injected into the system. There's not enough goods, and there's more money chasing them. That's bullish for things like aluminum, maybe Alcoa. So just
interesting
raw materials.
Yeah, gold's had a nice little run.
Oh yeah, dude.
Kept up with that.
Yeah.
How much higher? Do you think that can go?
I saw it at about 1800. It was abundantly clear to me that it was going to get to the top, and I didn't like the risk reward on it.
Yeah.
Like it was up there like that,
Yeah.
and like I knew it had that much, but it's like here's this much. But if I would have looked on the shorter time frames, there was a consolidation that we would like to see, and just take a break out of that. I could have taken with that much risk. So I'm kicking myself a little bit because it was like it was there, but I didn't want to buy GLD. I didn't want to take options because they were kind of cheap, but I just wussed out.
Definitely want to work on my long-term portfolio for sure, man. I enjoy my short-term stuff, but definitely want to work on that whole set it, forget it, don't look at it kind of thing.
I've been trying to do that because I've got my short-term plays. So I got my signal, and I take it, but they're going to be like anywhere from like 2 days to 2 weeks. So for long-term, if you're going to make money, you got to find a place to put it that's not going to get, inflated away by the Fed. Did I send you that newsletter that I did, like that little email that I did a few months ago where I talked about the broadband rollout and stuff like that? Okay, so tech has been going crazy.
Yeah.
What do people need to use all these platforms? They need the internet.
Yeah.
And how does the internet get to your house?
No, via cable.
So
Fiber,
Comcast, Cisco, because it runs all the equipment. Some of the smaller providers and vendors, HLIT and COMM. I've even forgotten their names, but I know I'm in those symbols. And they took a big hit in June when they came down. And I was kind of like, because it was right after I sent it to people, my recommendation. But HLIT just had earnings yesterday, and they're up like 20%.
Dang.
So it's not exactly value investing, but it's definitely like I said, okay, here's my hypothesis for what a specific sector, broadband rollout, is going to work into the next quarter. I wasn't going to look at it until October. And so I'm going to reevaluate that in October. But so far, it's just those 4 stocks, and we'll see how they turn out. But one of the more volatile ones had good earnings, and so I think that'll be good.
I got to stop procrastinating and just get that down. That was my next goal, is to sit down and just break down the sector and build a portfolio based on that. And, you know, I know healthcare, people talk about, especially with everything going on, and so on. But I was even going to look at some gold stuff, but I think it's kind of maxed out, you think?
I mean, everyone knows where the all-time high was.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that we're just above it. It's just a question of, are there going to be people that want to push it to new highs, or is this going to be where it holds?
Definitely not investing in any kind of gas or crude oil, no?
Why not? Why not?
Maybe
let me
let
challenge
it
that a
bottom
little
out some
bit.
more. Maybe bottom out some more.
Oh, you don't think zero was a bottom?
I mean, it went negative, bro.
Yeah. So
let's go negative again. Why don't they pay us when it goes negative? What's up with that?
I think Carl Icahn made some money. He said that because he actually has the actual physical storage of it. So,
okay.
I mean, he was able to take some delivery, I believe, and so he made a bunch of money off that. But if you want to look at a depressed sector, energy is about as low as you can think it could be.
Which is good, because if we head into a real recession, that's where you want to be, right? That and
Are we not in a real recession? We're in a weird recession.
we're in a unique situation. How about that?
This time it's different.
Yeah, this is an unusual circumstances. This one I don't think anybody saw coming except for the very few small.
That's the whole point, man. Like, you don't. Everyone thought we were going to have a housing crash next because we had in 2008. But I was just telling you.
Really? I figured if anything, we'd have like a currency crash. With all the quantitative
have you looked at the dollar?
Yeah.
Broke its 2-year low.
Yeah.
Nobody's really mentioning that. Like, we had this huge spike up when everyone fled to the dollar, and it's all come back. And now, like, the dollar index, if you look at it, it's DX on different platforms. It broke the 2020 low, and it's still bearish. I mean, the buying power of what we use is going down because we're making a lot of it. It's less scarce. But people don't really. I don't think people follow that much. As long as steak stays the same price and gas prices stay low, people think that inflation doesn't exist.
It's been nice to that the gas is like stayed under $2.
$1.75 when I was driving over here. I saw.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
That was cool.
You think it'll stay there forever?
When does anything stay forever, bro?
I mean, that's the beauty of it, man.
That's one thing that is forever, is the non-forever factor of it. The up and down, the swing of things. And, most importantly, we hit 12,000 on Bitcoin. Did we not?
Yeah, we did. Well,
yes. That little baby right there?
I had a target of 11,900.
Yeah.
And I was about 1.6% off. So I'll try to do better next time.
Okay. How's your group doing, man? How did some of your I don't want to necessarily drop names, but I know you got a little group.
Discord group. Oh, they're fantastic,
did it fit their what they've hoping for, and super
Oh,
excited.
I have 2 groups. I've got the crypto group, and I've got the more regular stock group.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking more about the crypto group. Your original group.
I mean, when things are bullish, they're bullish.
Yeah. Were they happy though? That's what they wanted.
Yeah, a lot of those are long-term hodlers, but there's a lot of people in there that try to be smart and short things when they're going up, because it's an exercise in ego. If you don't wait for confirmation, when you're just like, oh, it's high, let me short it. I think it's kind of. I've gotten over that, but I think it's kind of silly.
There's a lot of volatility in that. I mean, so I've been trying to get into it. I've signed up for my Coinbase Pro, not to put a plug in there, but it looked like the most easiest. I tried that Kraken. And I just got to the part where, like, the whole they do all the background checks or whatever, the BS, and I just took forever, and the stuff kept getting kicked back, and I was like, this is retarded. I signed up for Coinbase Pro like that, and but the only thing is I just really probably need to watch a YouTube video on how to set an order, because every time I set an order, it just takes my money like $5 at a time. So I'm like $15 in, and I've got nothing.
Wait, what happens?
I don't know, bro. I need to figure it out. But my original point is, that's really my personal problem. It's just lack of me just getting online and doing the research. I can figure it out. The thing is, though, I have been watching currencies, and the cryptocurrencies, and there's a lot of volatility in it, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of volatility, and
Yeah.
I could see why it's attractive. And if you're okay with that and you want to get in and out, I mean, of course, volatility comes risk, but it's been very interesting to watch, keep up on, and I've noticed too that a lot of this kind of correlate together. So if one moves, they all kind of move. No.
That's Dow theory, which is over 100 years old. It's one of the tenets is that all averages confirm each other. That's why when you look at the S&P being up on a day, most stocks are going to be up on the day. They all move in sync.
Yeah.
And so cryptocurrency is no different. It's following that same pattern of everything moving at the same time. But there are some clear winners, actually, interestingly enough. Bitcoin, I was looking last night over its low that it hit 12 and then crashed in the span of like 6 minutes. And the ones that have recovered the most have been things like Tezos and Ethereum. Bitcoin hasn't really recovered as much. It's actually less volatile than some of the other ones. I think Ethereum's actually the winner coming out of this, as a matter of fact. Bitcoin Cash as well. Those are the ones that I typically watch, the blue chips.
The blue chips.
Well, I mean, I don't have time to watch all these things that are have 3 or 4 zeros in front of the numbers that matter.
What was that one I saw in your group? The DG or DXGX or something like that? I don't know what it was.
I don't even.
They were like ranting and raving about it. Some new crypto.
Oh, Doji?
I guess.
Dogecoin?
Is that
Oh,
what
that
it
was a
Was that what
joke.
it was?
It's always been a joke. It's always been a
The whole
joke.
group's a joke. How's their Hertz doing?
Hertz. I mean, what's funny is if you were to, it's continued being a meme. Wow, we almost finished that.
Dude, it's a bottle of wine.
Yeah,
between
okay.
2 people. It's like 4 glasses.
It's funny if you would just buy stuff at the open when they announced bankruptcy, you would still be making money. There was another company that did, I think Chesapeake Energy had that happen, and then one last week where the strategy is, if you play it right, if you just buy that bankrupt company on the day it's bankrupted, all the Robinhood users jack it up, and you just got to close out before the end of the day because it does naturally go to zero because that's what a bankrupt company means.
Yeah.
The stock goes to zero. But yeah, man, you got to just flow with the strategies as they come. You can't be like, oh, that shouldn't work that way. I mean, clearly the market is telling you that that's working right now. So I'm not going to stand in the way of it.
I think I'm getting in my own way, that's for sure.
Why? Tell me about it.
Just looking at some of my losses this week where I knew I was right. Maybe I should have been a little bit more relaxed on some of my stops and not so. It's like everything there was saying, this is where it's going to go, all that stuff. And I just, once I'm in that trade, got real money on the line. You're just like, get out.
So let me ask you.
But if I just stuck to my plan and just let this maybe relax the stop a little bit, I would have been good.
Okay, but wait. Hold on. There's 2 things here.
Yeah.
Okay, one, stuck with your plan. The other one is relax your stop. They're 2 different things. So tell me what happened. Just be honest with me. Tell me what happened.
No, I just so this is where I'm really bad. I'll have 4 different time frames. Okay, and I'll trade one time frame, but we're watching the lower time frame. And I'll see some weakness on the lower time frame and get out. And if I had just followed my time frame that I was trading, stayed in, I would have been right.
That is pretty inexcusable. You should know better.
Yes, welcome to the world of self-trading.
But are you starting to notice that if you give a little more risk, sometimes it won't stop you out, but it does come back and would be profitable? Is that happening to you?
Well, those beautiful shakeout bars too.
I love them, yeah.
I've noticed too, particularly with stocks.
What's a shakeout bar?
You should explain that little wick underneath the body. The tail.
Yeah.
Will hit your stop and then go up. And I've done plenty of research and gone through and back and just been like, if I just, the biggest thing I want to see is if I see the close of the body get my stop, then I need to get out versus a wick, because sometimes they'll just do that. It'll just play with your stop.
Or it could keep going.
It could, but you just, again, it's really also allowing the bar to close too, and that's the other thing. So again, it's if I could just be more of a machine, put the trade on, and not look at it, that'd be my best bet. That's why I try to find distractions like movies and other things and projects. That's the biggest thing is, and also I think I'm gonna get away from the scalping stuff. Like I'm gonna set a certain time to scalp and be like, this is when I'm gonna stare at my computer screen intensely for these 2 hours. But after those 2 hours, I'm going to more swing trading. So I can set it and walk away, set alerts, and like go do things like work on my yard, work on these projects, do things like these podcasts. So I'm not sitting there hovering over the screen because I got myself in some kind of fucking scalping trade when I shouldn't be during certain hours. And, just kind of like where I'm at right now. Joe Rogan says, and I love Joe Rogan. He always throws a little tidbit out there. And he was like, man, you just got to set a schedule. I forgot who he was talking to, but he's just like, you just got to set a schedule. I was like, I do. I got all these things I want to do. So I wrote it down. That's where you start, right? I wrote down my day. And I like how much hours I want to dedicate to each thing. Working out, doing the trading, working on towards the aquaponics in the yard, things like that. Things working on towards, 30 minutes of practicing music, things like that. Mapped it all out. I was like, all right, here it is. Now I just need to play it.
That's a lot though that you got in there, man. That's a lot, actually.
Man. Hey, look. If Elon Musk can do it, I can do it.
Well, Elon's not a human. He's just trying to get home. That's why he's making SpaceX.
God, that could be so true. Yeah, man. God, man. Bravo to Elon Musk, man. Seriously, dude.
He is a man among men.
We just shot a bunch of, speaking of getting home to Mars, we just shot a bunch of rockets to Mars and going back. We were talking about earlier. Yeah.
China, I think.
China for sure.
Who else?
We did. We shot something.
Okay.
And
yeah, we do that every month.
in India.
India. Yeah. Good job here.
We got a fellow Indian resident in the room. That's a lot of countries shooting rockets to Mars lately. So,
now, will they all get there? Because we'll find out in a couple months.
I don't know, man.
Because we've screwed it up.
Are we? Is the news going to cover it? I had to just kind of search Twitter to find that shit. It was not on the main news.
You know who you got to follow on YouTube? You have to do your own. Scott Manley. You know who Scott Manley is? You've seen his YouTube?
Scott Manley. Why does that name sound familiar?
Hello. That's his signature sign-on thing.
Really?
You just watch him. He's a kind of funny, nerdy ball guy.
Stuff, what's that guy's name? Jesse L. Peterson.
Jordan Peterson? Or
no. This is the black guy that's like very controversial, and his whole thing is like amazing.
Jesse Peterson.
I went down a YouTube hole one night watching that, and it's funny because it's like I don't know whether it's borderline troll or how serious he is, like legit. You know what I mean?
That's the best kind.
He really like skates that edge, and I love that. I love that stuff, and watching how his guests react. And I was watching. There's a rapper named China Mac who I've kind of grown to admire lately, and he was on that show, and I just felt like he handled that whole inter-exchange the best. He just finally stole his tagline. He was just like amazing. It just took it from him and just like walked with it, man. It was great. And now I find myself every now and then just be like amazing. I love it.
He's definitely kind of a little bit of a troll, but that's the best part when you can't tell somebody.
Yeah, you can't tell. You can't tell, right? You're just like halfway there, but But,
is this guy serious or is he trolling?
That's the only thing that sucks about being a manager is definitely
can't have fun.
Yeah, because people take you serious because you're the manager. They don't know. They're like, God, like before it was fun because like.
Yeah, a little ego.
And all my other roles, when I was just an employee, I would like troll people, but now it's like because you're a manager in your position of leadership, people take what you say a little bit more to heart and serious. So when you're trolling them, just trying to like break the ice, and they're just like, I'm like, oh no, I'm just playing. That's cool. We're cool.
Have you also probably noticed the age difference, like. There's a little bit more maturity that you just naturally have that people in their 20s don't have.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I've noticed that when I've been trying to like.
Dude, my job definitely puts me in the position with a lot of that age group, and really just the entitlement. Too. I forgot how like 20-year-olds are very entitled, especially white and 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Very entitled. I mean, it's very clear when I deal with non-white people and then deal with white people at my job. Just at this recent job, it's been very like obvious in my face. Like, oh, you really. My favorite was kicking out this guy the other night. He swore up and down he was going to have my job. He was going to get me fired. I know the owner. His name is Mike. I was like, that's funny because I'm not the owner, but my name is Mike. The owner's name is not Mike. But he swore up and down he was going to have my job. And then I saw him like the other night. It was funny. I should have bought him a drink. That's the only regret I have. Was
why?
Just because that's what you do, man. You kill him with kindness, dude.
Okay.
Like, look, man, I'm just there to do a job.
Yeah.
All right, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm really the good guy. I'm doing you a favor. Clearly, you've gotten a little into the friendly zone of drunkenness, and you've gotten a little out of hand. And look, this is okay in the bar business. And I have to tell my staff this: people come there to forget. They work 9-to-5 jobs. They've been working their ass off. They've been dealing with their bosses or whatever issues, their families. They come to work. They come to this place for an experience, right? I'm pulling a John Taffer quote there. They come for an experience. And they want to forget. They don't want to have any responsibilities. That's why they get fucking obliviated, you know? And sometimes with that comes the idiot of like forgetting how to just be a normal human being, a polite human being, a responsible, accountable human being. So they do stupid shit. And every now and then you just get this one guy and you're like, all right, dude, tonight's not your night. I'm going to have to put you out. You can come back tomorrow. You can come back next week. I don't care. Just tonight, you're done. You gotta go. Oh, what do you mean I gotta go? You can't. Blah, blah, blah. You're fired. I'm gonna get you fired. I'm like, bro, you're just a little wasted tonight, and you should probably leave and start over. Come back next week. Actually, you know what I mean? You'll be hungover tomorrow, but next week come back. And that's where I was like, man, I should have bought him a shot of like breaking that bread of like, hey man, no hard feelings, bro. I'm just doing my job. Like,
did he make eye contact with you?
Oh yeah. I mean,
so he wasn't kind of ashamed of his behavior. He was.
No, he made a shameful that eye contact where you could tell they were ashamed.
That's why I was asking. Like, did he know?
He wasn't so like hot-headed this time. You know, I definitely had set my boundaries, but I don't. You know, that's something I'm working on too. Is like, hey man, it's just a job. You know, like I ran into another person that I didn't let into my bar. You know, and I'm walking down the street and I saw him. I was like, hey man, no hard feelings. You know, and it's just what it is, man. You run into those kind of episodes. I tell you about the guy that had a gun on him that we kicked out.
Well, how'd you find out that he had a gun?
Oh, Lord have mercy. This is a good story. So, you know, I really try to work on my door guys to like really be proactive about stopping that problem before it comes through the door.
Were you going to teach me to do that if I was going to be your door guy?
Well, you know, man, I didn't really have that problem down there because where I'm at now, there's a bunch of bars on the same strip. So what you get is you get that guy that starts at this bar, and then he goes to this bar, and then he goes to this bar, and I end up inheriting 3 bars later this guy that's been getting drunk all day. You know what I mean? I didn't have that problem over there. So here, I'm trying to teach my door guys to be like, hey, man, if you can tell he's been lit, it's clearly he's been having a few, let's just tell him, hey, this is maybe not your place tonight, and not let him in. You know what I mean? Instead of us inheriting that mess, you know, and I've been trying to work on my bartenders too. Like, hey, man, it's okay to like not serve people. It's okay also for my door guys and my door guys and my bartenders to say, hold up, let me grab a manager, or hold up, go get a manager, you know, let me get involved, and I'll be the bad guy and be like, hey, man, this ain't your place tonight. You know, I don't mind being that. My point is just recognizing the issue and then alerting the situation and then making me aware of it, and I'll come over and I'll be the bad cop. You know, and just be like, hey, man, this ain't it. You know, and just move on. You know, we had this, it was like these 3 dudes. One dude was clearly fucked up. And I was like, all right. It was like one of those things. It was a Saturday. I was like, I could feel it in the air. I was like, it's coming. You know, I could just sense it in the people that it's going to be one of those nights. And sure enough, it's the same night I kicked that first guy I was talking about out that told me I was going to lose my job. And I kicked him out right around the same time I was kicking these 3 dudes out. And I kick them out the back door. I go up front to the front door because that's what they do. They go up to the front door and try to come back in again. And I tell my door guy, and I interact with them. And I was like, man, y'all are not coming in. Y'all are done for the night. I'm not letting y'all back in, you know. And one guy's like, man, fuck your club, blah, blah, blah. It's a shit club. And then why are you fighting me to get back in, bro? Like, cool. It sucks. Bye. Go home. Right. And then the other guy is like at the doorway and he bucks at me, right? Just fucking like he was going to do something. I instinctively just shove him back. Right, I'm at my door, and I know I got a camera. I'm very aware of what's going on. I got a camera right there, and I know if I step across that threshold, I'm off the camera. You know, and I'm right there. We're at the door, and I just shove him, and that just instantly instigates everything. Now these guys, this shit was hilarious. These guys, three of these guys, they're freaking lit. So as soon as I make that physical interaction, they all like, oh, and they're like fumbling over each other, trying to hit me. And they're hitting each other. Jesus Christ. It was more damage done to them than anything else.
So you as a sober person, all you had to do was just dodge.
I mean, I definitely stepped back and was just like, nope, ain't going to happen. And so my door guy got involved there too. And we basically pushed him back out. I go back to the back door to unlock it because I had locked it at the time. When I kicked those three guys plus the fourth guy out. I just locked the door. And I walked back up the front, dealing with this exchange. After unlocking that door and walking back up, my door guy is like looking at me. And I'm looking at him, and I see this guy that I shoved have now picked up a cone. We have some cones out front to block the little area where Uber likes to pull over and park where they shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. And he has now grabbed one of these cones, and he has got it over his shoulder, and he's coming at my door guy. My door guy is looking at me, and I'm like, I mean, mind you, there's a door in front of us because we've got a little lobby. We got the front door, and then you got this door here before you come into the bar. And he's like looking at me, and I'm like pointing at him, and he's just like not getting the signals. And then sure enough, he turns around, and the cone just hits him right in the face. Oh. Yeah, so we push him back out in the street, and now he's picked up the cone again, and he's about to throw it at me. Now this other guy walks out, who happens to be the neighborhood drug dealer. He throws that cone at me. At the same time, this guy's walking in the path of that cone, hits him. I was like, oh, man, you just fucked up, bro. Out of all the people you could have hit tonight.
So what happened then?
Man, that motherfucker chased all three of them down the street. And he apparently, from what I understand, they got down the street, basically to the end of our bar. And that's where the kid proceeded to pull out this little revolver. I didn't know this at the time. I had no clue. All I know is that he goes across the street. He goes and grabs another one of his mutual friends of ours. They come back out. Now this time my bosses come down the street. We're talking about the exchange, and all we hear is across the street this like guns cocking. Like, holy shit.
Things escalated quickly.
Yes, bro, yes. And mind you, I've already called the cops. They're on their way. And sure enough, they walk out in the street. One of them's got an AK, and I'm like, "Yo, guys!" Like,
well, these are the guys at the bar that had an AK, or the drug dealer's friends?
Yeah.
Okay. So a little war just started.
Right. And I'm like, and I'm friends with, I'm cool with them, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, like, I just called the cops." As this is unfolding in my head, I'm like, the cops pull up, they get, guilty by association. I'm like, God, this is like a recipe for disaster.
Did anybody get arrested?
Yeah, so finally the cops did show up. And we explained the situation. They went, and they were able to find them pretty easily. They took in all three. They asked us who we wanted to press charges on, just the one guy with the cone. Sure enough, the guy with the cone. They search him. He's got a gun, and he's got weed on him. And
that's not going to end well for him.
No, it's not.
All over a cone.
All over just getting kicked out of a bar, bro. Just being too drunk. Just like, go home, bro. Just take it. But go to the next bar. You don't even got to go home. You're not hanging out at my bar.
Can't stay here.
Not at all, bro.
Don't have to go home, but just can't stay here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was funny. I don't know what the hell happened. I saw the two kids that were with him later that night. Somebody beat them up. Or the concrete beat them up. I don't know what happened. Because they were definitely they were on that level. Like when we pushed them back out after the cone, after he hit my door guy with the cone, right? And we pushed them back out, right? They literally stumbled over each other and hit the concrete. So I'm assuming that's where that happened. Because their face, one kid in particular, his face was just all beat up.
Yeah.
And the other kid had blood on him too, and I was like, because even the cop said too, he's like, man, do y'all know what happened to their face and the blood also? I was like,
So you say kids, like, are they like in their 20s?
yeah, that's what I
Okay,
mean, like early 20s, bro. That's
A lot of
my
raging hormones.
full-time babysitting job that I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's the life and experience of myself on the weekend. Trade during the week and trade my life.
Oh, so
Everything's risk
I
management.
thought you were just doing, yes.
It's all risk
Yeah,
management
good
at the end of the day.
I like that segue.
I'd rather be in a
Yeah.
trade than in a fight, I'll tell you that.
Well, you know, dude, I think you know what you need to do to get there.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, man. I do got a lot of appreciation for the restaurant business. And it's definitely hit home lately with the whole COVID. You know, definitely that has affected. I think it's hit the service industry and, you know, being my background in the music venues the most. And it's been interesting, man. You know, definitely made me rethink a lot of things. Definitely drive more motivation into getting this trading down and securing that bag. But also just, man, I've weighed out the option too, man. Like doing some other stuff, you know. Something that, like, my buddy is an electrician. He didn't slow down on work at all.
Dude.
Plumbing, construction.
When I was getting all my house renovated, I couldn't get anybody to do any work. I couldn't.
Really?
Like plumbers, electricians. I had a really good painter
Because
and
they
good
were
landscaping.
busy or because they just didn't want to risk COVID?
Busy,
Yeah. See,
busy,
that's
busy,
crazy,
busy,
man.
Well, it's, you know, and I was talking to the plumber guy because he had a helper, and he, you know, he also mentioned he can't find anybody to do the work. Like nobody wants to do the work. No generations of people. You know, it's like Mike Rowe, right? Dirty Jobs guy. He's
Yeah.
been saying for years that, you know, you can make 6 figures doing plumbing, electrical, easy. But nobody wants to go into those jobs because they think that they need to be in front of a desk. And I think that's really kind of starting to really hit home. And another thing is, I think a lot of people they're at home more, so they're probably using their houses more for plumbing and electrical, as well as they're putting money into their homes. Because
Well, definitely with these stimulus checks,
Yeah.
right? Because that's where that whole retail trader boom happened during all this too, right?
it's a big phenomenon.
people got
People at
paid
home
vacations,
got a
man.
little bit extra money that
Yeah.
they didn't necessarily make,
Yeah.
so they definitely threw it into the stock market. So
So let me ask you this.
what's up?
There's that whole thing, right? Now here we are. We're at the end of the whole stimulus package, right?
I don't think we're at the end of it yet, man. They're gonna keep that stuff going through the election.
Well,
man.
I'm unemployed, and I was getting my unemployed checks, and last week I got my last unemployment stimulus check.
Okay. Well, they're talking about giving you more.
Possibly,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. Can we get it done before they go on vacation? Which is kind of baffling to me too, but we can continue that subject later.
Yeah.
My whole thing I want to say is that's our tax dollars, right?
No,
No?
it's not tax dollars.
Damn.
It's your savings. It's other people's savings.
It's other
It's
people's
your
savings.
future earnings.
My
That's what it
futures
is.
are.
Yeah, because we already spend far more than we take home in taxes as a government. We print what we need to make up the difference, and that comes out of the value of the dollar, which is what people's savings are. If
Yeah.
you got cash in the bank,
Yeah.
basically, you know, instead of increasing your taxes, you got like $100,000 in the bank. Instead of taxing you $5,000, they basically just inflated the dollar so that $100,000 only has $95,000 worth of purchasing power. It's a little more complicated, which is why people don't really notice it. But that's what they're basically doing.
So I got a cool conspiracy for you.
Okay.
Now,
I
mind
like
you,
conspiracies.
I do too, man. Mind you, because
I like to smile and listen.
I also like
See
when
where
other
people's
people
goes.
you meet those people that are like just got into the whole conspiracy thing. And you're like,
There's so many things that make you say,
Yeah,
therefore must be true.
I definitely feel like I'm a seasoned conspiracy guy, you know, and it's funny to see those newbies who get like onto it and have those revelations and all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, I remember when I was going through all that too. So it's hard for me to find a conspiracy that like really grabs me and goes, oh, that's cool. So this one really got me. President Trump
Okay.
is going to bankrupt the Federal Reserve, which is not a government entity.
Okay.
And then everybody's debt zeroed out. then print money from U.S. Treasury interest free.
So kind of like Fight Club, but a conspiracy. Zero debt, but it's under everyone's control.
It's one of those conspiracies that's like it's got some truth to it. It's not like flat Earth.
Can I be critical of you for a minute?
That's why I said it, Wes. What you think I just threw that out there for no rebuttal?
This isn't necessarily my idea. I can't remember who it was that really criticized. Maybe it was Stefan Molyneux who criticized conspiracy theorists because you go off chasing like the moon landing didn't actually happen, which I like Neil deGrasse Tyson's answer to it better.
Red Hot Chili Peppers said it happened, bro, and said it didn't happen. It was made in a Hollywood basement. And if the Red Hot Chili Peppers said it, bro.
Well, the thing is, thousands of people saw that Saturn V rocket take off, and if you take the actual volume of it and you fill it with fuel, it would have had enough to get to the moon and back. So if you're going to go ahead and launch it, why not just go ahead and do it? Frankly, I think it's more.
It needed enough fuel to get around the flat Earth to get to the other side where they hit it.
Okay, word. Okay.
Anyway,
I'm going to choose.
Let's get back to the Trump being the bankrupt king.
Okay, well, I'm going to choose to believe that we actually landed on the moon because it's far more inspiring. It makes me proud to be an American.
Well, China did that. They got rovers up there.
They got rovers. Yeah, they do.
You got to believe everything China does.
While people are focused on what Trump is, doing with Russia or what Trump is, I don't know, doing with Ukraine, they've missed something very, very important. This is my big thing about people that are very orange man bad.
You want to switch to a beer or you want to switch to a vodka? I don't got a mixer.
Beer, please.
Boss man, can I ask a favor? There is a Red Bull refrigerator full of beers. Miscellaneous. Just grab a few. Down here? Yep. My man, thank you.
Where were we?
Oh, hold up. I wonder why that camera turned off. Oh, well.
Did it time out maybe?
It's okay. Oh. We still got that one right there.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
Could be battery issue. I'll get here.
Okay. Where was I?
Man, bankrupting America, bro.
So
zero debt, man. Get rid of my debt.
Let's
go.
One of my
I like this.
One of my pastimes is arguing politics because that accomplishes tremendous amounts of stuff. Arguing with people online because there's people on the internet that are wrong and they need to be told. I mean, you know the feeling.
I already feel like there should be an amendment to the what's the freedom of speech? The First Amendment, right?
First Amendment, which should not
include social media, and that's kind of interesting because that's where we're at right now with Trump.
We are.
And it's not even, I just if at a minimum a questionnaire before you hit send.
Nah, man.
Okay.
People should be able to say
like journalists have to. Oh, perfect, bro.
Nice. What we got?
And also, can you do me one favor? I think my battery died on that camera right there. If you'll see what's up with that.
I think people. What is this?
I don't know. It's random.
Copperhead Amber Ale. I'll take it.
Spin the wheel on the alcohol. All right.
Cheers to new beers.
Oh, yes, sir. So, ooh, yeah, get it, buddy.
I'm not ahead on that.
That's what she said, right?
Hey. So, all right, let me just jump into it because I'm trying to dance around it.
Yeah, don't hold on back, man. Come on, get to it, bro. Can we bankrupt the Federal Reserve and print the money? Let's just zero out the debt. We got the perfect president involved who is notorious for being the bankrupt guy. I mean, I know we're talking conspiracy, but I think anybody could do it. It could be him.
I think people need to get off Trump as if he is this maniacal, literally Hitler person, and we need to recognize that the power of the president continues to expand from administration to administration, going all the way back to Abraham Lincoln federalizing the railroads, which helped win the Civil War, to everything else, Patriot Act, Bush kind of deal. What Trump has done under his administration he's taken over interest rates in this country. Mm-hmm. And that is something I take a really big issue with because, the Fed chairman serves at the pleasure of the president. And while they say that they are a neutral person, Trump made it very clear with his criticisms of Yellen, his predecessor, that he did not like Yellen trying to increase interest rates. And he's been constantly pushing through his Twitter and through just making it very clear that if we don't keep interest rates at zero, that he's going to replace the Fed chairman with somebody that will. So what we've done...
Does he have that power to do that?
He does now. Because like I said, the Fed chairman serves at the pleasure of the president. And in the past, the president was kind of neutral. You never heard
because the Federal
Bush,
Reserve is a private bank.
Yeah, but
it's about as
what
Fed
it is,
as FedEx, right?
What it is versus what it does is...
Which is interesting because he's also talking about making TikTok pay, right? This is the...
Hold on, one thing at a time.
Okay,
One thing at a time.
Okay.
So and that's another thing I take issue with.
All right,
one thing at a time. So what people don't realize when they're focused on all this, his taxes and all that all this little superfluous stuff, is that he's actually taken more power to the office of the president. Now the president, henceforth, has the power to change interest rates in this country.
Does he?
He did. That's what he's doing.
So we shouldn't have a problem.
It's not. We didn't vote on it. Congress didn't approve that power, but he has taken that power on himself to now use the power of the presidency to exercise that. So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is the Microsoft thing, which is basically what you're talking about with the TikTok, threatening to ban TikTok, which then reinforces Microsoft's position trying to buy TikTok. What is one thing Microsoft does not have that Google and Facebook have?
The social media world.
And now they do. All while last week, hearings were going on where Congress was hearing the heads of these other companies that have social media. Microsoft, who incidentally, not too many months ago, got the Department of Defense cloud contract. A little bit of back scratching, isn't it?
Interesting, yeah.
Microsoft definitely appreciates, and actually put something on their website, somebody posted to me, Microsoft appreciates the efforts of the Trump administration. I'm sure they do. Because basically they've strong-armed TikTok into, I don't know if it's going to go through or not, selling their U.S. end so that now that, instead of Chinese intelligence services, our intelligence services have control over all social media.
Funny, man. We always, here we are. We have been a leader in a lot of things, in sabotage, coups, all this great stuff. Data gathering, NSA, CIA, all the little alphabet letter stuff. But yet, heaven forbid if somebody else tried to get the upper hand on us.
Why would we let that happen?
Why would we let that happen, Wes?
Yeah, why? Why would we
I don't
not
understand
do
why
everything?
they'd waste their time anyway, because
we
just
recognize
it to them anyway.
We recognize the
we'll
value.
We'll sell it to them. We'll do the work and we'll sell it to you.
We recognize the value in having a monopoly over, how people are communicating. Why would we give that up? Why? So it's like, that's why it's like all these conspiracy theories, I think they're fun and everything. But while people focus on these really wild, crazy things, if they just look and read the news headlines and kind of do a little bit of inference, like, oh, that's what's going on. There's way more stuff that's going on that people could be having their attention on and maybe possibly stop, as opposed to all these goose chases of the moon landings and Kennedy assassinations and stuff like that, which I do find rather interesting.
Those hold a little more stability than the flat earth. The flat earth, I'm still a little. That was the one that I was just kind of like, all right, guys.
I feel like that's the OK symbol or QAnon. That's a meme that kind of like took on a life of its own, where I think the people that truly believe in it really just like the fact they're pissing people off. I think that's
yeah.
Part
You do
of the
gotta
thing
you
of it.
gotta like end of the day you gotta sit back and go make sure. Hey, am I getting trolled here?
Yes, you probably are. If you had to
that's
ask,
that's where you have to like really ask that question. Is like, all right, joke's on me. You got me. But yeah, it's so no bankrupting the Fed, huh?
Oh, I didn't really address your point. I mean,
because that would make sense. Like literally, if you think about it, right? We built up this $1 trillion debt, then we doubled it within this whole less than a year.
YOLO.
And then bankrupt that shit. Trump, bankrupt king, bankrupt it, bro. Who cares? Debt free. Now we print from the U.S. Treasury, interest free. Moving forward, you wouldn't reelect him?
I think that you're asking for a lot of creative destruction there. I think that a lot of people with vested interest in the current system would probably oppose that and fight hard to keep the existing system.
We would fight hard to keep debt.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the bottom line is, it's not that it serves this cabal of shadowy figures, because that's another issue I have with conspiracy theories, is because it expects that, this group of people, not only just for now, but also like generationally, like the Rockefellers or whoever, are somehow like controlling something as complex as the world economy, when you can't get two people in a room to agree upon anything. Now, you look at a little church, like a little country church that I used to go to when I was a kid. Across the road, there's another little country church, right beside the same cemetery. And no one ever told me what was up with that church. I think I asked as a kid, like, what's up with that church? It's like, oh, we don't go there. That's where other people go. Come my adult time, I found out that there was a rift that formed. Some people believe that Jesus did that. Some people believe that Jesus did that. And they decided to have two different churches. And so, like, this happens all the time. And so you expect me to think that over this course of, like, 100 years or even, like, 10 years or 5 years, that a group of people that are all super alpha heads of banks and heads of their companies are going to, like, agree upon everything when it comes to world domination?
Yeah, so
they're not going to have differences.
Those two churches had to get their... What's a preacher got to go through to get recognized as a preacher, right? He's got to get
in that denomination, nothing. You have to be called by God. So you basically
you just though, because then you register with the government. You're a preacher, and you don't have to pay taxes.
Pick a different example, because that's not going to work.
Because it does, because it comes through a stem, right? And that's how banks work, right? They're like the new religion. You got your Wells Fargo's, you got your Chase, you got all these other people, but they stem upwards to one person that calls the shots.
I mean, they definitely worship the almighty dollar, but
the dollar is the new religion.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if I challenge that and I think of the dollar as like a game to be played?
I mean, it says "In God We Trust" on it, bro. How more religious can you get?
It also has like Mason symbols on it, like your shirt.
It's got a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of hidden things on it. Like that green Mason. It's a secret.
My
I actually pissed off a Mason wearing this shirt one time.
Do you? Oh, really?
Yeah, he kind of took offense to it.
How did you know he's a Mason? I thought they didn't talk about that.
Well, that's where he revealed it.
Do you have a ring? Do you have a Mason ring?
No. I did talk to one guy that had a ring too. I was like, hey man, how you get into that?
You just asked him.
Yeah. You got a family member that's a Mason?
My grandfather and my father were Masons.
Yeah,
they didn't tell me anything about it.
My mom's uncle, I think so, was a Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And when he died, his son was illiterate, and when they were cleaning out his house, my mom came across a bunch of the old Mason materials, apron, all that stuff. I got that stuff, and she knew me being the YouTube conspiracy recent at the time.
She gave it to you?
Yeah, she did. And I got some really cool books. I got the Moral and Dogma book by Albert Pike, and I got.
What is it? What is it about?
What is it about?
Yeah, what's the subject matter?
I'm still trying to figure out all that stuff.
I mean, you read it?
I read through the like the handshakes and the codes and all that stuff, and actually the most fascinating book.
Is it a religion? That's what my question. Is it a religion?
If you mean ritual sense, where they do ritual things like religious people do, sure, they have rituals. I was
talking to a mutual friend of ours about it, and he was telling me.
God? No.
I was talking to a friend Rich, and he was saying it is religion, and I was like, I don't know if it is or not, because nobody ever told me anything about it growing up.
It's ambiguous as fuck, bro.
But here's the thing. Think about it. And this is what he made me think about. It's like, think about the Masons. They still exist.
Yeah.
No one talks about them. I mean, except for outside of conspiracy thing. But no one really talks about what they do. Think about any other long-standing organization in America that isn't currently being challenged. No one talks about it. They talk about the police. They talk about the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about pretty much anything that exists in America as an institution, but they don't talk about Masons. They've somehow managed to skirt under the radar, keep their noses clean.
Secret handshakes.
I'm not completely there with you with the conspiracy.
Most of our presidents have been Freemasons.
Right, and so it's like no one's really. So they're doing something right. That's all I'm saying. They're doing something right.
I think they've just mastered the flow under the radar thing, and I think that stemmed back from their history, where they were being persecuted by the church, and they knew they had to go underground, and a lot of it was just like science-based, man, just knowledge. I mean, people are trying to suppress knowledge for so long,
Mm.
you know, and here they were keepers of just basic math. If you think about it, you know,
Well,
just,
yeah,
just
they
stonemakery,
understood the
all that
power
stuff.
of information.
Yeah,
They did.
information for sure.
Uh-huh.
And the church was not about that because that you can't control people if they're smart. you
Who
know?
has who has the power of information now?
The internet?
Yeah, but who specifically on the internet?
I don't know. Is there one person that really controls the internet?
Well, it's the tech companies.
Okay, all right.
For
So it's not
sure.
just one person; it's just multiple.
Yeah.
China,
yeah.
and going back, China's doing a great job of data collecting. No,
Well,
I love
they
that
have
they
their
have,
interests for sure.
I was watching a documentary on it. They literally you can pay now by scanning your face.
Pay. Oh, for facial recognition.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to my friend.
Which explains the whole like apps that were going around for a while that like de-aged you, aged you kind of stuff.
Yeah. How do you feel like liking all that? Do you post on TikTok or?
No, man. You know, my nephew is. They're both trying to be like TikTok stars. They're hilarious, 14 years old. So I watched them and I got into it and I didn't set up a profile, but you can watch the For You page. It's just like it's like the perfect ADD thing ever, you know. And you know, it's just there's some cool content on there, man. Some hilarious, funny stuff, you know.
Well, that's another thing about like this whole Trump banning TikTok thing. It seems like an unforced error. Like, why? I mean, people like it. I mean, you're gonna
China. We went from Russia to China.
Yeah, but I'm thinking I'm more leaning towards my conspiracy theory, which is not really.
We always gotta have an opponent, right? Because
Yeah,
that's
we
what
do.
we are. We're Americans.
Yeah, we do.
Americans aren't really Americans unless we got something to be American against.
Here's the
you
thing,
know?
man. We're humans, man. Like I oftentimes like when I'm on walks and stuff, I think about
we're all
like
humans, Chinese, Russians, all this stuff. That's the thing, though. But this whole thing about nationality, we're American.
do you think that like people sat around in ancient Egypt while a plague was going on because they didn't know what it was. It was clearly the wrath of God. Talking about the Pharaoh and how much of a dick he was. Talking about the priests and how much money they had.
Man, honestly, we don't know. They could have.
I bet you they were.
Have.
I bet you they were.
There could have been some guy out there who didn't quite catch the plague and was just like, man, fuck that Pharaoh. He ain't doing shit. He got all the money and he ain't helping these sick motherfuckers.
But what could Pharaoh do? What could a Pharaoh done? He didn't know what to do.
What could he have done, man? That's at the end of the day, man. We put a lot of misplaced blame on other people. And that's really where we need to the ultimate self-healing is taking accountability in ourselves. And that's one thing that you know, COVID did one of two things. All right. There was a lot of time for self-reflection, you know, and you either sat around and wasted that time. It was a unique time where it was like, we're forcing you to sit inside. We're forcing you don't have a job, but we're going to pay you. We're going to do all this stuff, and you're just going to sit at home. What are you going to do at that time? You know, some people played video games, got drunk, hung out, did nothing. I personally was like, man, this is a once in a lifetime to take this opportunity and build skills.
You built something.
What was that? Is this a GoPro time?
That's probably, yeah. Did we need to wrap?
Yeah.
You built something. You did.
I did.
You
literally.
did. You literally built
something. With my hands, I built
yeah.
a greenhouse.
And I got out there and quit being a fat ass.
This great room.
So
yeah, you did, man. Congratulations on your weight loss, man. I'm envious of you. I'm just doing my usual fluctuate between 210 and 200.
You just got to do it.
You're right. I got a lot of things. Set a schedule.
You know, let me challenge you on that right there. I think you need to just pick. I need you to pick one thing that you want more than anything else, and you need to do it.
That's trading, and that's what I spend all my time on.
Yeah.
Because I mean, once trading kicks in,
you were a man of all skills. I totally envy
man.
your powers of music because that is by far the most preferable thing to be good at if you're trying to make people like you. But you got to pick one thing, and that's what I focused on: trading. And the good thing about health and fitness, I don't think that it's the secondary hobby that you can have that only amplifies your primary hobby. That I believe that very strongly. Like you can't work out so much that you're going to take away from your primary focus in life.
It feels good though, man. Like now, you know, with the whole aquaponics and the eating right and things like that, it does what you put in your body and working out and all this stuff does. I can feel it, man. I could tell when I've broken down and gone to Zaxby's It affects everything, even my trading. You know, like I'll eat that thing, and like I'm not getting anything done for the next 2-3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, versus like if I just stick to my usual eating like a rabbit, man, I get a lot of stuff done. And it's weird too because throughout the day I'll get this like weird high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where I can tell my body's like breaking down.
From not eating?
Well, you're not eating carbs and all that stuff, right?
Okay.
You know, you like I'm drinking a lot of water. You know, I was doing cabbage soups there.
How did you feel?
Man, I felt great. I felt like I had tons of
Okay.
energy. You know what I mean? I just
Okay.
felt. I
Well,
felt.
I think you said you felt you could break it down.
Well, I felt like my body was breaking down like its own fats.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And in doing so, it created this like
Okay.
weird body high.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I get you. I get you.
You know, it just moments there where I'm like,
Well, yo, if you just cut out the fast food stuff, man, I find that you do like a dopamine detox. I'm not.
let me tell you
I
something.
know
man.
people do those kind of things. They call it a
I'd
dopamine
rather quit
detox.
smoking cigarettes, and I'd rather quit drinking.
don't
I'd
smoke
rather-
cigarettes?
I don't do anything. I don't. My two addictions in life are sugar and sex. So you
Yeah.
know, like if I could, you know, I would never. I'm glad I never did heroin. That's like the one drug I never tried.
Yeah. Well, I tell you something. If you stop playing the guitar, then you'll probably like stop missing sex, because that's clearly leading to more
That's
sex.
not true. Because
playing the guitar.
I've played the least amount of guitar during COVID, and definitely that has not curbed any sex problems.
Well, that's
or
because you
issues or
know how
wants
to
or
play
desires.
it. So it's like you walk into a situation. It's like, oh, you're not that entertained. All right, here, let me do ding 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 ding.
The panty dropper. Yeah, that's what I used to call it. Let me whip out this guitar because you haven't taken your panties off yet.
I
so-
was talking to a friend about another friend who is having relationship problems, and his problem is that he was cheating on his wife, and then as soon as he got it done with that, he had this other girl that was hitting him up after a gig. He was a guitar player, and I said, look, this guy doesn't have a problem with like relationships. He has a problem with having too many relationships. It's because of the guitar.
Yeah, man, you definitely got to focus. I'm doing this like 6-month, 8-month interval thing lately.
Of what?
Dating.
Okay. Wouldn't it be nice if like we could just focus on things other than that, and we weren't like driven by
They should
biology?
just legalize prostitution, to be honest with you.
Well, it is legal. It's called seekingarrangement.com.
All around. Just, you know.
No,
the-
you can still do prostitution. It's just you have to like pay a lot for it, and you have to like
You can
give
still
it
go-
other
you can
names.
still go to jail for that shit too. And let me tell you something. That's the last charge you want in jail, outside of being a pedophile.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want that on your docket, bro.
Yeah.
All you're trying to do is just get a nut, bro. And I'm not
Yeah.
fucking some plastic doll.
It's hard out there for a pimp.
Right? Amen, bro. Cheers, by the way.
Very much cheers.
So, trading wise for you, you've been working on a new strategy.
I've been working. It's not new. It's established. So.
Okay, so we are making money.
Oh
we're
wait.
moving forward.
Okay, so I've got a
I'm
lot of
saying
irons in
new
the fire.
within. I'm saying new within the year. All right, you got
Okay.
this new shakeout strategy you were talking.
What's
about.
funny is like my
Are you ready to
research.
start teaching? Because let me tell
No,
you. So
I'm
if
not
I
gonna
see one more damn YouTube commercial of a guy standing in front of a bunch of monitors talking about how they have the latest strategy that I need to sign up for and make tons of money, are you ready for that?
The only reason that I would teach is to keep people from going down those paths.
Teach
that's
them
the
what
only
not to do.
It's just to save them from the grifters. Like, I firmly believe that like some trading educators can teach people valuable skills. Like I learned from my mentor, actually, I realize now more than ever, risk management. Like, because I see a lot of these people who are just getting into it, and their first instinct with trading is make as much as money on weekly option
We're
contracts
gonna hit the lotto
right now.
Yes.
Play the lottery.
Why not?
YOLO.
For real.
I need to quit my job in 8 months.
For real.
I need to make $150,000 this year.
Yes.
How do I do it? Tell
Why
me
can't
how.
I not get that? How much I got to pay for that?
I'll sell you that if you. Yeah. just
One
pay-
time
just
fee
pay-
or a subscription?
Well, $13,000 get you started, and then we'll do a $500 a month until you're successful.
You got a payment
And if
plan?
you're not successful, then you won't hear from me.
Yeah.
But no, like I think that you can get some skills from those, but it's hard for me now at the point that I'm at to approach people that really genuinely want to learn. I'm seeking a peer. I'm not really seeking a student. I'm seeking people that are maybe about the same place in their journey as me, that I can bounce ideas off of,
Retail
maybe
traders
partner
are
with.
weird, man. You know what? It's funny, man. The whole scene, right? To me, I got my channel and I've been trying to interview retail traders, and I can't seem to get anybody to commit. I've had plenty of people say yes at first, and then when I set the date to go do the interview, they end up backing out on me, and it's like this weird, like, almost embarrassment, or they don't want to reveal the humility, which is like even more the reason why I want to do the interview, right? Because we need to be transparent. We need to be who we are, because 98% of retail traders fail, right? Like we are, we all want to do this, but yet none of us want to talk to each other. We all get superstitious. Like I was even talking to my buddy the other day. He was like, yeah, my buddy's doing this. And I was like, yeah, let's set it up, blah, blah. And he called him up, hit him up. He's like, nah, man, he doesn't want to talk to you because he's afraid he might jinx himself. And I'm like, God damn, man, I'm not even trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to talk to other people, I just want to hear other people like you and I talk.
I get that, but it's like, if you do discover an edge, you're afraid that it's going to go away. And you're afraid that other people are using it. It's going to make it go away faster. And so you always have to be worried about what they call edge decay, like any one system. Well, it sucks, but it's not stupid.
It reminds me of like palmistry and like tarot card readers out in the street. You got all these like those are the guys trying to sell you how to trade opportunities. So, and then you got the retail trader coming up, paying the $5, looking for that get rich scheme, and then you're just like, at the end of the day, you realize you walked away, you really didn't know anything more or less than what you knew.
You know what's another truth that I've learned is that everybody's, and people say this all the time, and no one listens to it, but I thoroughly believe it. Your trading style has to be yours.
For sure.
It can't, somebody can like maybe
that one died.
Maybe point you in the direction of it, but you're gonna have to make it yours. And so like I would not be afraid of someone stealing what I do. Hopefully they can learn from it. But at the end of the day, I know if they do become successful, it's not going to be doing what I do. It's going to be doing what they do. And yeah,
but that's so that's even more the reason why I want to interview people. It's we all have our own personal journeys, right? And it is your trading style. And this goes back to like, people who are like motivational speakers and stuff. It's not necessarily you got to be like them. You just take your bits and pieces from all those people, and you become your own motivational speaker. Like at the end of the day, it's still you. Like you're not going to be a Tony Robbins. You're not going to be a was that Gary Vee? All these other guys. Like I get some of my most best motivational speaker from a prison guy named Wes Watson. You know what I mean? Like he cracks me up, dude. He's like, you want to stack wins all day. It's just, it's just you take what you can, and then at the end of the day, you still got to look at yourself in the mirror and be your own motivational speaker,
Amen.
And I think that's what we're talking about, right? Is you got to be your own trader. You got to be accountable. Like what we were talking about earlier when I was talking about some of the mistakes I made. I just say that out loud because it's like me acknowledging, when you put things out loud versus like in your head, it's like you're putting out in the universe for accountability. It's like, all right, man, because you were like, oh, blah, 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 whatever you said earlier. And I was like, yeah, I know what I need to do. I just want to say it because now I've said it. You've responded to it. I got to fix the problem because I've made it.
So do it.
We held court. You know what I mean? Of course.
So do it.
And I just feel like people don't do that enough.
Just
you know what I mean?
do it.
That's what I'm saying. And you ain't got to worry about me. And I don't got to worry about
no,
you.
I do.
But
I do want to worry about you because I want to see you I want to see you have every dream you want.
For sure. No, but I'm talking more about these retail traders that don't want to. They want to hide. They want to stay hidden. They don't want to really talk about it. It's like, come on, man. Like we all are in this together, dude.
Yeah.
We're all up against the same system.
But at the same
fighting
time, like you gotta like solve your demons before you can help people solve theirs. You gotta like work out for your life before you help other people.
Sometimes fighting your own demons is through helping other people.
It can lift you up. It can. It can for sure. But I think that you have to like push through whatever's stopping you so that one day when they're like, man, this is really stopping me, you can say, all right, here's how you push through it.
Yeah. Or this is what I've done. And then hopefully they take from that a little bit of that. And they're like, it's all, at the end of the day, you just got to be accountable and look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And be real with yourself. I think that's just life in general. You just got to be real with yourself. Unfortunately, not enough of us do that. So,
To be real.
all right, Wes, be real. All right,
Let's close it out.
let's close it out. Wow, because all the cameras are dying now. That one died. That one.
You
died
need
in
to
the
give me
middle
some
of-
music, man.
That one died in the middle of.
We
I
need-
should just what music? Let me just play the guitar and the
Do-
opening credits and just,
do-
like, freestyle.